What would it mean to you if you could start earning $1,000 a month from content creation? Maybe it means investing more in your craft, or perhaps outsourcing parts of content creation that you're not in love with, or maybe even eventually taking the leap to pursue content creation full time. In today's video, I'm excited to share a few different pathways you can take to start earning $1,000 a month as a content creator. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Austen and I am a fashion and beauty content creator based in New York City. I use this channel to help micro-influencers create great content, grow their digital brands, and earn sustainable income from content creation. So if any of that interests you, please do consider subscribing to my channel for new videos every Tuesday. For anyone who may be new to my channel, I am a full-time content creator, but that was not always the case. In fact, I don't think I earned a single cent from my content creation for the first 4 years that I was doing it. But now that I'm at the point where I am making multiple 4 figures a month and sometimes even 5 figures a month from my creator business, I wanted to share for any of you who are just starting out a few different pathways you can take to start earning $1,000 a month from creating content. So in today's video, I am going to be sharing 3 different types of income that you can make as a content creator. And I'll be giving you 2 examples within each of those categories so that you can decide what will work best for you as a creator. Throughout this video, I'll also be sharing strategies to actually help you achieve the goals that you set out for yourself as a creator, as well as some questions you should ask yourself when you're deciding which income streams are best for you to pursue. So this video is for you if you are a content creator who has been creating content consistently for a few months or a few years, and maybe you've seen a little bit of money here and there, but you're ready to earn this amount of money consistently and spend a lot more time and energy on your content creation. I typically recommend that if you're going to monetize your content, that you have at least 1,000 followers or subscribers on your main posting platform, or that you've been creating content consistently for at least 6 months. Those are 2 of my recommended benchmarks for when a good time to start monetizing your content is, because I do get that question a lot. So if you haven't hit one or both of those milestones yet, I want to just direct you to my free guide, the Influencer Launchpad, which is the perfect place to start if you are brand new to content creation. So that's a free guide you can grab from the link down in the description box. So I said that I'm going to break this down into 3 different categories of work or income levels, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's start out with active work. And I call active work where you are trading dollars for hours and you are providing some kind of service as a content creator. One example of active work for content creators is to work with brands on partnerships or create content for brands. Now, for purposes of this video, I'm going to make up some arbitrary pricing just to give you an idea of what it would actually take to get to that $1,000 a month mark. Let's say that as a nano influencer, you are currently charging $250 for a photo, $500 for an Instagram reel, and maybe $1,000 for a piece of content and some amount of usage or licensing of that content. If this is how you plan to make money as a content creator, you need to go out and network and build relationships with brands and be on their radar for when they are casting campaigns. I don't know about you guys, but I often get a lot of lowball offers in my inbox or offers to do work in exchange for product. But those offers and that type of work is not necessarily going to get me towards this goal that I would want to achieve. The reason I say relationship building is so important for content creators is because you are so much more likely to re-sign a client that you've already worked with or get a brand deal with a brand that you have some sort of relationship with than you are if you're just pitching brands cold. According to a website called gmass.com, the average cold pitch response rate is between 1 and 5%. So let's just be generous and say that you're only pitching brands that you already have some sort of standing relationship with. And let's call that response rate 10%. That means that you will probably want to send out at least 100 emails to get 10% of people to reply to you. And let's say that of those 10 brands that reply to you, only 2 of them pan out into actual paid collaborations. If those two paid collaborations are both for an Instagram reel and you charge $500 for an Instagram reel, now you've hit your $1,000 a month mark. But I just want you to see and understand the work and the thought that should go into any of these in order to actually achieve your goal. So that's why I want you to think about a balance of active work, this is the first category we're in, and some other forms of work that we'll get to later in this video, because the action of actually finding and networking with 100 brands that you actually know, use, and love, to then pitch 100 of them and get 10 people to respond to you, to then get 2 campaigns actually signed, is a lot of work that requires a lot of manpower or woman power. So whether or not you want to repeat that process every single month and whether or not that's sustainable is something worth thinking about, especially if you're thinking about pursuing this as a full-time career. Now, this can obviously be a little bit offset if you do have some brands coming inbound to you, meaning they've reached out to you without you actually pitching them. Understanding who is already coming to you versus the work you will need to go out and get for yourself is really important to actually hit your revenue targets. In addition to content creation, another form of active work that you might be able to monetize is if you have another skill set in addition to creating content for your own platforms. Maybe you can pitch brands on your graphic design skills, your photography, your video editing, or even consulting for their businesses. This, again, of course, requires networking, relationship building, and understanding how many of these ideal clients are out there. Now, this could be a great opportunity to get some consistent work and maybe get on a 6-month contract with someone so that you also do have guaranteed income each month. Again, some questions you'll want to ask yourself if this is something you want to pursue is how many clients each month will you need in order to hit that 1K mark? Maybe you offer a more luxury service and you will charge $1,000 for just one client, or maybe you will be working on a bunch of micro projects. Maybe for graphic design, you get charged by graphic. So how many graphics will you need to create in order to hit that threshold? And of course, where are these people? How do you find your clients? Do you do sales calls? How else do you generate leads for your business? So those are all things to think about in terms of the active work category. The next potential way that you can monetize as a content creator is through what I kind of call semi-passive work, or making semi-passive revenue. Now, I'm sure you've heard a lot about passive revenue, and spoiler alert, that is the third thing that we're going to talk about in today's video. But what I mean by semi-passive work is work that requires some upfront effort, but also some pretty active maintenance, at least on a bi-weekly or monthly basis, to ensure that what you're doing is running smoothly and that it stays consistent in terms of the money that you're bringing in. So one great example of this is a membership community. So I launched a Patreon community back in January, and I was not actually anticipating launching a membership community, but I figured out a way to make a membership community work for me and still be really beneficial to the people who decided to enroll in it, that I was able to maintain and that I'm not scrambling to get done each month, that I actually look forward to, that I'm able to batch plan ahead for in some cases, and that I can fit into my routine and what I do in my creator business that will also benefit my community. In my membership community, I create creator resources. So there are some parts of that that are really easy for me to batch, like my monthly desktop wallpapers, which will basically change with the calendar month and also include upcoming holidays so that you can plan content around them. And then there are some things that require a bit more activity and a bit more effort on my end. So for the highest tier of my membership community, I often will upload extra tutorial videos, bonus resources, and things like that. So I want to make sure that I'm always giving that tier, since they are the tier that costs the most, the best experience possible, while still being able to keep up realistically with all of the other things that I'm working on each month. So let's think again about pricing for a minute. If you want to monetize just through a membership community, you could charge $25, and if you had 40 people sign up for your monthly membership, you would hit the $1,000 a month mark. Now, I think one thing that's important to factor in terms of a membership community is the retention of it, because when people sign up for a monthly subscription, maybe you've experienced this with other tools or services in your business, you might try it for a few months and then decide to cancel your membership or decide to do a different membership. And that's a very real risk of doing a membership community, and something to expect is not just that you might have some drop off, but more so that you probably will have a little bit of drop off. I did a quick Google search and saw that typically 65% is a good retention rate for memberships, but closer to 78% is considered a great retention for memberships. So keep in mind that there may be some drop off with your members, and of course, first and foremost, you'll want to make sure that you're creating content or offering something exclusive in that membership that keeps people around and keeps them excited to subscribe each month. The next thing we're going to talk about that is a semi-passive way of making money is affiliates. I have talked about affiliates on this channel before. I actually do have a whole Affiliates 101 video if you are new to this income stream, so definitely save that to your watch later so you can come back to it after you finish this video. What I was skeptical about with affiliates as a micro-influencer was, in my eyes, affiliates generally worked better at scale. Affiliates work well if you have 100,000 Instagram followers and you throw up a link to a product. Let's say that I want to recommend a lip gloss that costs $15 and I have an affiliate link for it where I'll earn 10% commission for referring that sale. So that means I'll have $1.50 in affiliate earnings if I direct someone to make that purchase through my link. Now, in order to make $100 from that particular product, I would need to sell, what, 66, 67, 68, somewhere in their lip glosses to earn $100 from that affiliate revenue, which is a lot easier said than done and more realistic when you have a large audience to start with. So I'm going to assume that that is not you if you're watching this video, so let's talk about some alternatives for affiliates for smaller creators. Alternative number one is to recommend higher ticket products. For example, whenever I see the Anthropologie Gleaming Primrose mirror go on sale, I always share it with my audience, and I've made 2 sales of that mirror so far. And you might be like, Austen, are you applauding yourself for 2 sales? But I believe the commission has been around $100 each time that I've done that. So that's me hitting the $100 mark at least with 1 sale of an item that I know my audience actually likes and cares about. And that just sped up my affiliate earnings with just that 1 item because it is a higher price point, and as a result, I do make a higher commission. On the other side of that, think about things that are recurring subscriptions or recurring memberships. So I do talk about this in the affiliate video I mentioned earlier, but in the description box of my videos, I do list tools that I'm an affiliate for as a fellow content creator. So things like Canva, Later, and TubeBuddy, where I do earn affiliate commission if someone enrolls. And for certain tools, I sometimes will earn that commission recurring monthly for either up until a certain point, or in some cases, I think as long as the person keeps the subscription. So that is another way to maybe still make, I don't know what the affiliate level is exactly, or what the commission is, I should say, for those recurring payments, but making $8 once versus making $8 every month for 2 years will add up over time. So the reason I think of affiliates as semi-passive is because, number one, if you are sharing them to places like your Instagram stories, or even if you're just posting on the LTK app, you will want to upkeep what you're doing and share new links and new products, especially if there are sales or new arrivals or things like that, to keep the content fresh and to make sure that you're giving your audience a variety of choices. And also, the other thing you'll want to make sure you do is if you ever post any links on searchable platforms, so like YouTube or on a blog or website, sometimes those links may break over time, or maybe you did a post of holiday products, but they were limited edition. So you will want to schedule in time. I think it is important to go back and make sure there aren't any broken links or things that, you know, maybe aren't working, or where someone might click on the link and you aren't redirecting and getting that sale from it because that link has expired or it's no longer available. Okay, and let's move on to the third category, which, as I already said, is passive work, passive income. Now, the first thing that we should definitely talk about is ad revenue. If you're not familiar with how ad revenue works, you can earn ad revenue when people run ads on your content. So you can do this through individual advertisers, or more often than not, people will generally work with an ad network of some kind that is basically the middleman between publishers or creators and advertisers. So for example, here on my YouTube channel, you may occasionally watch an ad from time to time, and that's because I'm a part of YouTube's partner program through Google AdSense, and I do earn money when I get more views on my videos because more people are watching ads through my channel. And the same concept applies to blogs and websites. So I am part of the She Media Partner Network on my blog, and I have ads on my blog that I earn money from when people come to my blog and see or engage with the ads. So the Influencer Marketing Hub actually has this really cool YouTube calculator, I'll link it down below, where you can go in and estimate how many views you would need in order to earn whatever amount per month on your YouTube channel. And this, of course, is just an estimation. It depends on things like your engagement, your comments, your retention, and a lot of other factors. But they estimate that in order to start earning $1,000 a month from AdSense, you'll want to get between 10 and 15,000 views on your channel each day. That's a lot of views, and I'm the first to tell you that building up a community on YouTube does take time. So in terms of working backwards from the goal on this perspective, you could start thinking about what could I do to increase my views, my subscribers, and my retention on YouTube. Maybe it's more call to actions in my videos to subscribe. Maybe it is publishing more content so that I can get more views. Or maybe it is scripting my videos so that people are encouraged that they're in the right place from the beginning and that they will watch through all the way to the end, in most cases, to increase my retention time. And I do think it's so important to think about the input to these goals and not just what you want the outcome to be, because once you consider the steps you'll need to take in order to actually reach these goals and maintain these goals, of course, the ideal thing here will be to start earning $1,000 consistently a month as a content creator. You'll have a better chance of achieving these goals. Okay, and the last passive income stream that I wanted to talk about is digital products. And you guys know I love digital products. I have a few of my own. I have an ebook, I have an invoice template, and I have a content batching planner. And I love creating and developing digital products for my audience because it's such an awesome way to share what I'm working on as a content creator and my processes with people at scale, and also get a little kickback in exchange for my knowledge and my efforts. So again, in terms of thinking about price points and how we can get to $1,000 a month, maybe you want to sell 100 digital products at $10 a product to hit your $1,000 a month. And that just feels like it might be a little bit of a reach starting out, especially if you are selling a product through your own website. Maybe you're not taking advantage of a marketplace like Etsy. Depending on your traffic, if the average conversion rate is around 3%, how many visits to your website will you need in order to make 100 sales, approximately? So if that feels like too much, maybe then you want to consider a higher ticket price digital product. Maybe it's $100, and then in that case, you'll only need 10 people to buy the product. So the reason I place this under passive income is just because in most cases, once you develop the product, of course, there's going to be work going into this before you actually launch it. But once you develop it, it should sort of be okay to sell on autopilot. Or if you need to make any updates, you should try to design products where you will only need to make updates once every 6 months or maybe once every year. Something like my editable invoice template, you know, unless I wanted to add additional color options or additional features or things like that, I have created a product where I really don't need to touch it or go change anything about it unless there's a problem with it. Okay, so I just shared 6 different income streams or ways that you can make money as a content creator. And I gave you a few different pathways of thinking about how to hit $1,000 for each of those individual things. But what I really recommend and what I really want you to take away from this video is I think you should be doing some combination of the things that I just mentioned in order to get to that $1,000 a month mark. One reason is that depending on how much time, how many hours you have in your week, wanting to create content all the time can be great, but if that's not realistic for you to keep up with and again, make this a consistent revenue stream, then I would think about what you can realistically handle. And the second thing is it's really important to diversify your income streams just in case one happens to go away, probably even could be for a reason outside of your control. What else are you supplementing that with? So I know for me personally, if brand partnerships went away, that currently accounts for 54% of my total revenue. It would be a blow for sure, but I wouldn't be left with nothing because I do have other income streams to supplement that. So when you're deciding which income streams are best for you and how you should approach this in your creator business, I think a few questions you should ask yourself are, number one, what are your long-term goals as a content creator? Number two, how much time realistically do you have in a week to dedicate to all of these different activities? And number three, what would be your ideal breakdown in terms of active work, semi-passive work, and passive work so that you still have enough energy to create, to show up for your community, and also just to go about your life? So maybe if you're just starting out, you can work to earn $500 a month from content creation, 100 from ads, 100 from digital products, and 200 from other perhaps rotating sources. Maybe you have a consulting client one month, or you do some graphic design stuff the next month. And again, if you are still newer in your creator journey, my free guide, The Influencer Launchpad, will help you answer questions like which platforms you should be focused on, finding your why as a content creator, and it will also help you establish content pillars, develop a posting schedule, and there are also 30 free evergreen content ideas in there that you can tailor to any niche. So hopefully you guys will find that helpful. It is always linked down below in the description box of my videos. I feel like that was a lot of information. I really hope this video inspired you and gave you some new ways to think about hitting that $1,000 a month mark as a content creator. If you apply any of these tips and start monetizing in different ways, please leave me a comment down below and let me know. Or you could send me a DM on Instagram and say hi. It's always great to connect with you all on there as well. If you are not already a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you as a subscriber. I do put out new videos every Tuesday, and you can even turn on the notification bell so that you'll get a little notification right when I upload new content. Please also give me a thumbs up down below if this video helped you out, and leave me a comment and let me know what you thought. I'll be back again next week with another new video. Until then, thank you again for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.